Thank you, Joe. Joe Valentine. Before I get started, I told Joe that I will never forget his name because his last name is Valentine. Good afternoon. What's happening? You guys don't like me already? Good afternoon. Oh, that's a lot better. It's an honor to be here with you to spend this afternoon. What I'm going to do today, in the 20-30 minutes I'm going to be here, I'm going to talk about my journey, all the way from India, all the way here, and my work at Chrysler, and how I started my company, some of the lessons I learned, and what keeps me going, and then also talk about the movie that I'm also producing. In short, I'm a serial entrepreneur, a business leader, writer, blogger, philanthropist, and also a movie producer. So passion for cars brought me here, all the way from India, and brought me to Detroit. Obviously, Detroit is the Motown. Detroit is the auto capital, and now it is moving into a mobility capital, and so that's what brought me here. And I went to Wayne State University. I finished my master's. Like any immigrant, so I wanted to pursue the American dream. And my dream at the time was to, have a degree, find a job, and maybe, get $100,000, or at the most, maybe $150,000. But as I look back, America has given a lot more than I even imagined, a lot more I have even expected. So I'm so grateful and thankful for all the blessings I have received in this land of opportunities. So I started working at Chrysler. Obviously, we don't have a lot of time, but I'll just share some of my highlights at Chrysler and what I learned. Somewhere along the way, I realized that my entrepreneurial bug within me could not be contained in a major corporation like Chrysler. So Chrysler is a big company. It's a great company. I learned a lot. But then, it was not the right company for me to pursue the growth. Because in a bigger corporation, it's not what you know, it's who you know that matters. And what happens is every 4 years, we produce a new car. And every 4 years, the management team changes, the players change. It's almost like a flock of birds. If you're not in that flock, or I might say clique, you don't go anywhere, right? So I always tell people very early on, one should figure out, are you part of the clique or not? If you're part of the clique, God bless you. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's great. But if you're not, then you ought to have your own plan. Because nobody can write your destiny except yourself. And if you're not in somebody's plan, you don't have a plan. And that's what I realized. Because every 4 years, it will keep on going the same cycle. I work for Bob, I work for Phil. It doesn't matter who I work for, they always want you to do something. When you do something and you come back, you finish, the person is gone. Then you got to start all over again. And in the process, you lose 14 years and 15 years. And so I decided, in the 13 years that I said, wow, I have a pension, I have a free car, I have everything. 8-hour job, I can do it in 2 hours. But to me, I don't want to collect the paycheck. I want to really make an impact. And that's when I realized it's time to go. That was in 2005. I talked to my boss. At that time, I said, hey, Vern, what if I leave Chrysler? What if I go and try and things don't work out? Will you take me back? He said, of course I will take you back. Because you're such a role model employee, of course I will take you back. Then I thought to myself, what is the risk? There is no risk at all. I leave, I go, I try, I screw it up, I come back. I said, it's a good deal, I did, and rest is history. The point I'm trying to make is that no pain, no gain. You don't take risk, you don't go anywhere in life and in business. And that's where the opportunities lies, and that's what I learned. And thank God I took that chance. And 10 years later, I'm running a $55-60 million company that I have not even imagined even in my wildest dreams. And I always tell it's really, to me, the success I measure is if I go and tell my mom, she can't even comprehend where I have become. And when I realize that, wow, that is to me the ultimate level of achievement. Because, the moms, they envision what the kids want to be. Now I'm saying I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It has gone beyond her comprehension. So I keep my journey going. So that's what I learned in Chrysler. So I started my company in 2005, bootstrapping. It's almost like a garage, typical thing. You don't have anything. I didn't have money. The only thing I had was the home equity loan. I have credit cards. I had 401k. So I kept tapping and tapping because very early on, when you start a business, it's an irony of life and it's an irony of business. Because when you need a loan, nobody gives a loan. When you don't want a loan, everybody in the brother wants to give you a loan. I have not figured this out. And it keeps happening again and again, all the way when I was a student, all the way I'm a business owner. I still remember when I came to this country, Oklahoma, I was there, I was desperately looking for credit cards. No bank would give me a credit card. As soon as I find a job at Chrysler, I start working, credit card keeps coming. I said I start cutting those credit cards because I don't need them. Same thing when I started the business, no lender would give me a loan because they said I'm not bankable. But then now it's a different story. Now I don't need a loan. Every banker keeps on calling. Let's have lunch. Let's have dinner. Let's go to the Wings game. I said, and do what? I don't have time. And so the point I'm trying to make is that these are the natural challenges and progression that in business we go through, but we just have to go through them. And that's what I learned, whether you're working for a major corporation or working for the lenders and so on and so forth. So real quick, what's the number one reason for the success of my company? I would say the core values that I established for the companies really help the company, accelerate the growth. In the last 10 years, we have grown so much, from $500,000 to $60 million in less than 10 years and winning the Inc. magazine award about 8 years in a row. And the reason I attribute is not because of me, it is because of the team we put together. So we establish core values. It's like the moral compass for life. You got to have some compass for your business. One other thing we put together was value, second, empowerment, third, excellence, and fourth, passion. Last one is happiness. Value, whether it is business or family or life, doesn't matter. End of the day, each one of us have to add value. If you don't add value, you should not be part of the team. That's number one. Number two, excellence. We always ask our team members to strive for excellence. And I just have an acronym for that. I call it BOB. Anyone knows what BOB is? Best of the best. So we shoot for being the best of the best because the game, the winners are always the best of the best. And third is empowerment. We truly empower our employees or team members. I don't even want to call them employees because we treat them as part of our team because it is the work that they do makes a difference. So I said, hey, don't come to me and ask me, hey, should I buy this paperclip? Did I do all this? We don't have time for all that. When the team members are inspired and empowered, they do amazing things. And that is why I turn every manager. We don't want to have managers. We want to have leaders. Because managers are micromanagers. Sometimes they are control freaks. And they look over the shoulders. That's not how you're going to create amazing company, and that's not how you're going to create amazing opportunities. So in our company, we move away from being managing people to lead them, to guide them, and mentor them, and inspire within. When you are inspired within, amazing things happen. When you try to control what time you come in, what time you leave, what did you do, what do you get? You get nothing. All you do, you turn into a control freak. And so I don't allow any control freaks to be part of my organization because That's not good for the company. In fact, I don't want any managers because managers are micromanagers, and sometimes most of the managers that I know are all, they have their own insecurity, and they feed off their insecurity onto the team members, and that is not conducive for a work environment. Fourth is passion. You got to have passion because life is passion. Because life is such a wonderful thing, but many people continue to squander that life because we have the sixth sense. Otherwise, we could be animals. When you have those amazing blessings to live on this planet Earth, why do you want to have a life without passion? So we look for people with passion. If somebody said, oh my God, I got to go to this work, this Kyyba guy, the Tel guy, I said, don't even get up from the bed. Stay right there. If you are excited, you're going to make a difference, come. And so to me, when you have those four things, the happiness comes naturally. To me, happiness and optimism is the foundation of life. It's the foundation of business. Because happiness, I'm not saying that it's even in our Declaration of Independence, pursuit of happiness. Because if you keep asking the question, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this 5 times? You will end up with happiness. Many people have a misconstrued notion of life as to go to school, get a degree, date, get married, produce children, and die. That is not life at all. That is part of life, and you are missing the other part of the equation, and that equation is making an impact and living your life to the fullest, and to me, that is the most important thing. So that's what we have developed around these core values because that's what defines who we are. And so that's what I tell people, and I jokingly tell people, look, if you're a negative person and you're not a happy person, don't even come near my half-a-mile radius. Stay away from my building, stay away from me because it's not good for business. So I really pay more attention to the team members because at the end of the day, you focus on their happiness, everything else falls in place. You focus on all other things and don't focus on their happiness and making them excited, you're just wasting your time. Because ultimately, people are driven based on that. I am driven on happiness. I'm driven on optimism, and that's what we did. So in the process, we took the company, like I said, from there. So 10 years have gone by, and then I got bored. I said, wow. You might ask, because to me, it's all about making an impact, making a difference. So I stepped down from the company end of last year, and so I started on a new journey. And other thing also, I don't want it to hold the growth of other people. Because I see many people are cling on to their power. They don't want to promote young people. Because if you keep on being in the chair, how are the young people going to come? And we need to provide them a role model. We need to provide them an advancement. So the way I did is that I'm going to get out of the chair so other people, young people can come up, and that's how opportunities are created. Many people are stuck to that. Until they die, they hold on to the power. That's not how you grow people. And if you are confident, if you are good, you can start all over again. Because I came with nothing, and from nothing I was able to do it, so I'm doing the same journey again. Thank God I still have the company. I own the company, but I stepped down from the day-to-day operations. And I wanted to talk about the Detroit and the comeback. So then I thought to myself, wow, I've been in Detroit for the last 30 years or so, close to 30 years. And 6 years ago, if you realize, our city was not doing well. We went through the worst recession in the last several decades. And the automakers went through bankruptcy, Chrysler, GM, and our city itself went through bankruptcy. So if I say our city is the greatest place, people will think I'm doing drugs, right? Or I'm crazy. But now things are different. Now we have the autonomous vehicle, connected cars. Not only we are talking about land mobility, we are also talking about air mobility. A lot of things are happening. I said, wow, the place that I'm in is doing really well, really well. And in terms of the industry itself, we are moving into a lot of cutting-edge technologies. And I said, wow, I'm also getting bored. How do I intersect all those things? And that's why I created this company called Kyyba Accelerator, is to really focus on, nurturing the startups and really, share my lessons learned and share my entrepreneurial journey and really invest in them and create new companies for the region that I'm in. So I also created a venture capital company that also invests once they graduate. So that's what I started this year. It's been going well. So those are the things that I do on the profit side, because you need money to make money, right? So, and you need to put money to make money. So that's what I'm doing. And then I'm also involved in other nonprofit organization. I'm also involved in charitable. And the last one also, to pursue my passion, I got into entertainment business to make movie. So let me talk about the nonprofit organization. The organization is called TIE. Originally started by Indian entrepreneurs way back in Silicon Valley. They started as a networking organization, but in the next 25 years, it has gotten to become one of the largest entrepreneurial organizations. So I'm leading the Detroit chapter here. And so what I'm trying to do there is really bring in some of the successful elements that I've gotten from the Silicon Valley and implant within our ecosystem, within Detroit, within Michigan, and really focus on a lot of disruptive technologies. Because the landscape is changing. The economy that we know before doesn't exist, right? Now we are more moving into a sharing economy. Gone are the days of the industrialized, economy, then be into steel economy and digital economy. Now it's more about sharing economy. Now the guys without cars, they control the thing. Uber, Facebook, data is becoming king. Data is the new oil, right? And so as a result, amazing things are happening. So we are focusing on several disruptive technologies like the mobility, digital health, fintech, blockchain, cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, machine learning, you name it, everything under the sun, under the moon, we are showcasing, because that's how the future is going to be. 10 years from now, I can guarantee you, you're not going to drive your car. You will be driven by a car. It's happening. In the 60s, there's a famous sitcom, Jetsons. They imagine a flying car. Now the flying car is almost a reality. Now we are showcasing at our conference where an entrepreneur is talking about a drone that pick your car up and take your car all the way to Mackinac, drop you right there, and you can start driving the car. No need to haul the car. What you are possibly doing in the land, you can almost do it in the air. So that's how the economy itself is changing. And so that's what my goal is there to continue to put the entrepreneurial spirit within us and get back. Because it's 100 years ago, Detroit and Michigan, we were the center of the universe. We invented cars. And I keep repeating the same message because that is the fact. We put the road. Our Woodward Avenue was the first road ever to be built on planet Earth. We showed the world who we are in terms of innovation and disruption. I don't know what happened in the next several decades. We became complacent. I might add, we became too lazy. And we need to change that. And what we are trying to do, we are not trying to make everybody as an entrepreneur. Through this process, all we are trying to do is rekindle the spirit already within us. We were the greatest innovators. It's just the flame, we just create that spark, and then boom, opportunities will come. And that's one of the things that I'm doing. And then this last one on the charitable, because I'm a firm believer in giving back. Because as a successful entrepreneurs, I think all of us are successful here. The fact that you are in this meeting, to me, qualifies you to be successful. And so we should also consider giving back. When I say give back, I'm not asking you to give away your family, your boyfriend, or wife, or whatever. Although some may want to do that, but that's besides the point. The point is that we ought to give back. The reason is very simple, because all of us benefit from the system. If you go to the school here, you graduate from here, you already have a subsidized education. And you can, if you have money, give money. If you have time, give time. If you have energy, give energy. So 2 things I want to quickly talk about. One, through a Kyyba Kids Foundation that I launched, I'm focusing on our inner city. There are 2 issues that I'm focusing on. Issue number 1, illiteracy. I don't know how much you know or not. Our own city that we call Detroit, we have a 50% illiteracy. That is a lot. I came from a third world country. It's much worse than a third world country. And we are not doing enough. And the second issue is that it's again, the reason that those kids are not able to read because they don't have a role model in their life. 75% of them are with a single parent. And so lack of a role model in the life and lack of reading really puts them on the wrong side of the law. And you cascade that, you have serious crimes. Not because of them, because those were not intervened at the right time. Intervening at 10 years and 15 years is no good. Intervening at age 3 and 4 is the right time. And so through our Kyyba Kids Foundation, partnering with a program called TutorMade, we try to give them the ability to read. Believe it or not, even the US government, they designed the correctional facility based on how many people can read. So we already know what to do, but we're just not doing enough to put more people to read very early on, so that way the ability to read and write makes a difference. Now, this is not rocket science. I'm not talking complicated stuff. This is basic stuff. Read and write is an important element, and especially in our city, and I think everyone should contribute to that kind of a cause. And the second issue I'm also focusing on, mostly in India and also here, is to talk about women empowerment. And that's, to me, it's near and dear to my heart. The issue number one is that in the last century, women had the women's voting rights. Now I think this century we need to really talk about true empowerment. And true empowerment can come really when they advance and when they start controlling money, when they are part of a larger corporation. There's a study out there by New York Times which says that the number of men with just the name John, in running larger corporations outnumber all women CEOs put together. If this is not bothering you, I don't know what else will bother you. But I think they should really go after the true empowerment. True empowerment comes through pursuing science, technology, education, and math, and get onto those kind of jobs, get into the investment landscape, getting into major corporations, because at the end of the day, only when you control money, you have the true power. Only when you create new jobs, you have the true power, and that's when you have the true empowerment, right? And so I jokingly say, it's okay to control the purse at home, but you also need to control the purse of the major corporation, because with that comes true power, with that comes true empowerment. And those are the issues that I really focus on. Even in our conference, we are showcasing a lot of women on the technology, who have excelled in technology, who have excelled in investment, who also excelled in social impact. Because it's not about making money, because it's also giving back, and that's how we can break the vicious cycle and create more of a virtuous wealth creation cycle, and that will truly empower a great nation and a great city. And then the last, I want to talk about my movie. I didn't have an idea. I have no clue about making movie, because I'm a techie, turned into a business guy. And so in 2010 in Washington, D.C., I was at an event where I was given the Inc. 5,000 company award, and the reporter asked me a question. It was kind of a strange question, but I answered it that way. The reason I'm talking about, because a lot of things happen by serendipity. And the story is this. He asked a question, what is it one thing that you have not done that you would like to do before you die? I said, oh boy, what kind of a... I said, I want to make a movie. It was 2010. I have no clue how to make a movie, whether I will make a movie or not. But I made that statement, and somehow it got conspired by the universe. And 8 years later, 4 months before, I was sitting in my office, and a bunch of guys came who I met 3 years prior, and they say, hey, we have this story. Would you like to invest? Would you like to make this movie? And I listened to the script, and the script is about the comeback of Detroit, because it's had an element, I don't know how much you know about this character called Nain Rouge. It's a French word for red dwarf or red devil. because we have an annual parade every year. So the character really belongs, it's part of the American Indian, not the Indian American, but the American Indian character. And then obviously in the 17th century, the French explorer Cadillac came, and so the movie is a crime thriller movie. I don't want to reveal the whole story because I want you to come to this theater and watch them. And it's a crime thriller, much like the Seven movie by Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, or Mothman Prophecies. It's a supernatural crime thriller. And so I'm using all the talent from Michigan. And I'm also trying to disrupt the movie industry right here. Even if the government is not willing to give the credits, as the entrepreneurs, as the investors, we are to do our own thing. We cannot depend on government for everything. Remember, we the people make a difference. And so I'm grabbing the bull by the horn and working on them because we have amazing talent in Michigan. Believe it or not, we have the highest concentration of not only movie talent, but also engineering talent anywhere in this country. And we produce a lot of bright people, especially young people, but we have problem keeping them. We have a huge brain drain. You have from producers so much of talent, but none of them stay here. Most of them go to Seattle, go to the Silicon Valley. So that's a different topic for a different day. But the bottom line is that we have amazing talent, we have amazing geography, and at the low-cost arbitrage that we have, so I'm combining all of them. And I'm also bringing my India connections and the distribution channels. So I'm making movies right here in Michigan to promote that. So those are the things that I'm doing. And I'm going to close out with this. And what is driving me, or if you ask me what's the secret of my success, I'm going to say three things. Curiosity. Because even if I come here, I'm very curious as to what everyone is thinking or doing, what the table looks like. I was curious when I talked to Joe. And second is passion. And third is intensity. Because passion by itself, you're not going to be successful. It's like, yeah, I want to do it, but you don't have the fire in the belly. And if you're not curious, because if you are not curious, you'll be settled. So I wanted to unsettle. So I want to leave you with this thought. Be curious, be passionate, be intense, and your life will thank you. And we have one life, short life. Enjoy and put everything to the fullest potential because your soul will thank you. Thank you so much.